Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the AI InterConnect podcast. I'm your host, Lauren. On this show, we speak with founders and operators building real solutions in fintech, AI, and emerging tech across the globe. AI InterConnect is a platform where conversation turn into long-term relationship and share insight across industries. Today, I'm joined by Variindar Vaissh, founder and CEO of Urban. Urban is building a cross-border payment application that helps immigrants and expats move money faster using digital rails instead of traditional banks. Varinder, welcome. Very,
Hi,
very happy to have you on the show.
good morning. Hi, thank you very much for the opportunity, and it's pleasure
You're
to meet you.
welcome. Very cool, very cool. Okay, I'm very happy to be here with you. Let's start with your background so listener understand the path that led you here. You have lived and worked across countries that usually shape how funders see financial problems in a very particular way. Varinder, how did your personal journey from India to Spain and now Portugal lead you to build Urban and focus on cross-border payments?
Sure. So actually, I have a background into technical. I'm an engineer, computer engineer, and from last uh, 10, you can say 10 to 12 years, me and my brother, he has actually banking and finance background. So we were always working in a different job areas. Like he was into bank and I was into tech. We had a company, IT company development, who built SaaS and fintech applications, some particular applications for fintech companies. So in 2019, I moved to Spain because we had European clients and we also had like clients from the UK and the US. So I'm like, it's better to move to different place so we people can have more trust, in you, and later you can lead, or you can make something big actually. So apart from that, like when the COVID happens, everybody was like at home thinking about like how we make money, how you can generate, give solutions to people. And in COVID, there are a lot of problem, people sending money back to their home. And that time, crypto introduced to the most of people life. Actually, we know crypto about from last 2016, and so we're like, why don't we create something, new? Or it's like we were always sending money back to their families from when you're living in a different country. But the thing is, always banks involved, and it takes so much time. Then your family needs to go and pick up the cash. So I'm like, we need some solution actually, not particularly directly crypto. Like customers cannot deal with crypto because it's very new for them. Still, people don't know about Web3 or crypto, how it does it work. Especially, you need proper to education to guide them how this is works. We are coming like slowly on the path where we can teach people Web3, but on the back end. But in terms of interface, always have a Web2 company like Facebook, Instagram. These are like Web2 companies. Web3 is like economy, sharing company, you can say. So in when we move here, we saw this problem with the immigration. Lot of immigrants I saw with the African guys. We saw with the Latin America. They have same issues. So it's like a, you can say, global issue, and always the traditional legacy systems involved, the banking system, like which is running from last 100 years. I'm like, still we are living in a 20th century and we are using the same old banking systems and traditional systems. So that's how we introduced Urban in 2022, actually. After a lot of research, after a lot of, you can say, tests and trials and everything. And we started with the MVP just to see how's the demand. And there is a vast demand in India, in Latin America, in Europe, especially in the US. So we were actually the finalist MIT FinTech competition in 2022. This was the first time that we applied in some accelerator or in some pitch deck competition. At that time, we had like $40,000 of sale in like 2 weeks. And after that, and recently we got another, like we are the second time finalist in MIT right now. And it's on 20th of February, we are going to attend again the pitch competition in MIT.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. So this is actually how we saw the issue, like so many people having, banking issues, sending money. They need to go to the agents, Western Union, or go to their banks, and it takes so much time, 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes it takes days, and they are pay a lot of fees because we are very tech friendly, like tech savvy. You can say, okay, I can buy USDT or XRP or any other coin, and I pay a little gas fee like 20 cents or $1, and I can send money back to my family, and they receive in their crypto, but they can convert later in local currency. I'm like, but it's too much work, so let's make it simple. So that's how we started the idea. And now we are like almost 500,000 in sales, 600 plus customers. Our company is like headquarters now based in Delaware in US. And now we are currently into the fundraising thing.
Wow, fantastic, fantastic!
Thank,
Congratulations.
thank
And thank you for this background and beginning of insights. You're tackling a space that sounds simple from the outside, but it's technically and operational very, very, very complex.
Right.
Okay, then you you describe. I mean, we know what it is. It's and we understand who you help customers to make a transaction easy. But who is your ideal first user today?
So the ideal first user would be immigrant community, which is our business model is like B2C currently. I mean, we have the capability to handle businesses also, but we prefer to help first that community who is working very hard actually, and who actually wants to save money for their groceries, for their daily day-to-day usage. And that's why we choose the immigrant community, because in abroad, you can say in the West, people come from different backgrounds, their different household their expenses. So they sometimes they do double jobs to save more money. So that's our ideas. And also it's like a, if you can see in the UN, there is a sustainability goal 10C, which is to reduce the prices of remittances, or you can say cross border payments, under 3%. So that's our basically sustainable ideas to reduce those high payment corridors, uh, to support those people first. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Bravo. And how how do digital rails and stablecoins fit into the experience without overwhelming the user?
Correct. So digital stable coins like been already here from last, almost you can say 7 or 8 years, like continuously after working through 2018, I think it's more popular after the Binance launch. But for a user perspective, they still don't understand what is digital rails or what is crypto coin or USDT. So our idea is like not to complicate customer in terms of technical thing, and make them like think like it's a bank, and it works similar like Western Union or Revolut or any other third party app, or like a bank. You send us fiat currency. We have the licensing partners, or you can say regulated partners in US and in Europe. They auto convert those fiat into stable coins, and that stable coins, we have a liquidity spread, or you can say in different jurisdictions. Like for example, if I want to send money from Europe to India or US to India, so in India we already have local partners who gave us the benefits of the liquidity spread, you can say that. So that money automatically converts into local currency with those digital rails. So the customer never knows what is happening on the back end. That is all back end from the urban and the local partners. And the money delivered, once we receive the money, for example, Europe, we send SEPA transfer. Once we receive the SEPA transfer from fiat, any euro currency, we give you INR, Indian rupees, in 15 to 20 minutes in your family's bank account without any interruption, without any changing money into crypto. So it's like totally like a bank, much you can say faster, not very expensive. And in terms of speed, it's like 20 minutes max.
Wonderful for SEPA. I'm impressed. SEPA can take 3 days. Um, okay. What part of your product creates the most real world impact for immigrants and expats?
Okay, so our idea is like to target the first high corridor margin, high margin corridors, for example, US to India or Europe to India, because or Africa also is one of our biggest target market. Because, but I know Indian market very well because my one of my co-founder, he's my brother. He's in India right now, and he had a like banking experience, so he know about regulation, compliance, all those things like how banks work with forex companies. So I think that is much bigger market, and you can say in Asia there is like $233 billion market in totally on Asia, but only India holds $135 billion market every year where immigrants send money back to their families. So that is our main focus to, you can say, send money.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, then fintech always look exciting from the outside, but behind the scenes, it's full of friction, regulation, and trust challenges.
Correct.
Right now, what feels like the hardest parts of running and scaling HerbNet?
So I think the hardest part in fintech is the regulation,
Yes.
the compliance regulation. Then you say AML also, anti-money laundering. But the main thing is the licensing thing. If you don't have the particular partners, licensing partners, or if you don't have your own licensing, so it's really hard to move, your money from one bank to another, or especially with the cross-border payments, it's very risky because when you transact money without licensing, it's like you are doing something illegal. That's how banking system works. So our first was the goal is to secure licensing thing to compliance and the AML, the KYC is the main also. You don't know who is sending money from which country to for what purpose. So always have to like screen the users, how much money they are sending, what is the source of the funds. Always like compliance is the first thing. The tech part comes later because you can handle the tech. It's not very difficult because you can build it and there is no government involved in that. But in the licensing, always the government, the other bodies involved, and you want to very, you can say it's like red sea market actually, not blue sea.
Yeah,
Blue
no.
ocean, not a blue ocean. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's scary. And
Yeah.
where do you feel the most operational friction today? Huh?
I think in terms of acquisition, you can say that because there are so many licensing partners you can have, or you can deal with them. Okay, this is our terms and condition. This is how we want to send money. This is our target market. The more friction I think is in to acquire users, because to build trust also, because you as a new application in the market, so nobody knows you, nobody knows to trust, the company where they are sending their personal money. And then always have like something, okay, if my money got stuck, if it take too much time, and if it take so much, the fees. And because it happens, we try different applications just to save money from like 1%, even to save 1%. So I think this is the major part to build trust in the market. And Once you have the trust and you have like certain, it's not about volume. Once you have like known in the market, like people know you very well. So I think that time you can take the next part for the scale or growth. You can say that.
Cognition, of course.
Yes, yes.
And what problem keeps coming back even after you think you solved it?
And that's a very good question. I think to maintain the customer at some point, like, how do you say, to keep coming back actually. Like if you giving service like perfectly everything, obviously the customer will come back. But sometimes you have to be very competitive, like because customer is like always looking for more options, always, even if they have different applications with the same pricing, they still look for much lower, I mean more better. So our idea is like to give them more flexibility to move their money, or maybe give them more perks, you can say that. Or when they send money, okay, like just in case, for example, if we are giving you possibility to send money $1,000, and if you send $1,000 in a month, you will have a like Netflix account for free, just to click the customers. Okay, this company is doing something different, or I have some benefit that I don't need to pay somewhere else. I can use this company, and they can give me another perks. This customers goes for the free thing. That is the pure marketing trick that you can see.
Nice. I love this. I love the idea. Of course, cross-border payments are evolving very fast, especially with stablecoin and new digital infrastructure. But many people still think in old banking models. From your vantage point in fintech and cross-border payment, what shift matter most right now, but it's still underappreciated?
I think the recognition of crypto, because some countries recognize very well. And for example, in the US, they now have the Genius Act. You can use your own stablecoin, you can build your own stablecoins, and it's totally under regulation. And but the first, when you cross border send payments through cross border and it goes to a different country, and that country don't recognize crypto very well, for example Russia, or you can say India has the taxation, but they don't have any clear regulations on the licensing thing. They have some a body, like you can say a government body, who can track your transactions. For example, users transaction, company has to report the transaction happening to their citizens, but it's not a license thing. It's just a registration, which is we call FIU. So that is underappreciated, and always US always a step ahead from anyone else. Like they recognize the technology and they also take part, taking risk in different areas. But some countries take time to understand the power of, blockchain, and you can say new technology, that sometimes they said, okay, our financial system will be compromised if we use crypto in this thing. I think that's why they scare a bit. So if our currency goes down or to zero because of we are using crypto, so I think they take time to understand. They are coming on a digital currency, like India introduced a digital currency we call CBDC, central bank digital currency. But still, it's gonna take time to
Yeah.
appreciate the stablecoin thing.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. And what signals do you personally track to understand where this market is going?
What we see in the market, like mm, it's like if you see the big banks like JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, like these are involving, and also you can see A16Z. These companies are moving to the next 10 years path. They are all already looking for AI. They are already looking for fintech into AI or Web3 thing, and they are involving crypto into their portfolios from last 6 7 years. It's like, and also if you see, the government is also taking chances to step into the crypto. For example, Trump already has his companies into crypto. They funded so many Web3 companies. So you can see where they are going slowly. And because it's why he passed the Genius Act, because he wants companies to have their own stable coins, company to have their own digital currencies. He has a billion or $1 trillion debt, so they wants to take care of that, because they cannot print money every time. So, and also there is a interest rate inflation. So they are moving their money in a different way, you can say that, into a digital thing, or you can say digital era. Still have time, I mean, maybe it take more time to fully understandable, like, by people. Okay, we are going to use crypto, we are not going to use credit cards or something. We have this crypto, we can lend our crypto, get interest. And in that way people are more interested in, okay, what is this? It's something new, because a normal bank in US give you interest like 1% max, or 1.5. But in crypto, if you hold stable coins, they give you like 5% interest per annum. So it's like, it's a very big shift. And in India we have like interest rate up to 9% for senior citizens. Up to 9% we have the you can say, even government schemes, some have like 7.5 for people. Maximum senior citizen get up to 9% per annum. So they will take time to reduce. These all already, West is already working on this.
Yeah. Yeah, uh, uh, a lot of education has to be brought in.
Yes.
And what is widely misunderstood about how immigrants actually send and receive money?
Like, in what
Or
like what mean?
Or maybe you understand everything. No, it's immigrants could have some habits of sending and receiving money. Do you understand everything? Is there any way to, I mean, any misunderstood fact that immigrants are sending and receiving money differently than anybody else? Maybe
There are some, telling you the fact, actually there are some areas that immigrants use it, like those are very illegal. Yeah. So
okay.
because they don't want to pay tax. I'm telling you, the same reason is they don't want to pay tax, for example. Not immigrants. I mean, I'm talking about every person who like 80% people, they don't want to pay tax. And if you are living in a different, if you are living in a different country where you have like 45% tax, so you always think, oh, how can I save those tax? And this money comes from my cash activities, or my activities that is not under the government. For example, they do sometimes jobs that don't have a contract, so they do cash jobs, working in a restaurant or somewhere. So they have cash, so they cannot deposit that into, different. So they have like agents, cash agents. They receive the cash, and their families or their people already in different countries, they give them cash in their local currencies. So see, this is like cash illegal system. So as soon as we have the cash in the market, they can do that. But once we convert into digital currencies, it's gonna be totally illegal because everything will be trackable. And Europe is also working on the digital euro. The European Union is already working on the digital euro. So probably it will come very soon.
Of course.
Yeah.
You mentioned that today your focus is B2C, but you also see B2B future
Yes.
after your seed round,
Correct.
which is an interesting evolution.
Yeah.
Looking ahead 12 to 18 months or more,
Right.
what does success realistically look like for UrbanNet?
Okay. So our idea is in these 12 to 18 months to capture around 10,000 users minimum. Well, we already have 1,000 users who are already waiting for the application to go live again. So our idea is, because what we are doing is we are also launching a Visa card that we have Visa partners. We are launching the Visa card. You can reload the crypto. You can, deposit the crypto, and you can use that cards anywhere in the world. And our metrics, what we are trying to target is like 10,000 users. especially for the card, and at least 5,000 users for cross border payments who can, because cross border payments is like totally transaction based. There is no subscription fees. In the card, they have like subscription fees like about $1 to $1.5, and wherever they spend, they can, we have the margin for that. We already decided some like channels where we are going to distribute our first line of product, because in a month or two our Visa card will be live, so people can start using. And apart from that, like fundraising, we already generating revenue at that time. Yeah.
And what about B2B?
B2B is the idea, is to reduce the payments, especially the gap. If you see the Stripe, so many people are using Stripe and other payment, Visa card, they pay with the Visa and MasterCard. So they always have a margin of 3%, 3.5%. That's what we want to reduce, make it under 1% actually. So that's our target, because there is so like very big market. For example, you use any shopping cart and you pay the fees, or the merchant is going to pay the fees for using their Visa and MasterCard. So our idea is to make it under one, like channel, and people can pay by bank or can pay by Visa, Master, and still they can have the fees under 1%. That's our bigger market for businesses, because we already tested, we already in talking to clients with the B2B. Okay, if this is our solution and we don't charge you anything, it's just totally transaction based, no subscription, nothing. You just pay, or you can also send money cross border in thousands or in millions, and you still pay the fees.
Did you go to market with a B2B?
We talked to some like potential clients actually, especially who is working into cross border things, like sending. They have like, for example, online grocery stores, online uh, jewelries. So they have clients all over the world. So I'm like, how do you receive payments? And how they said, we can use your product once it goes live for B2B, because we are paying a lot of fees while receiving their money from different countries. And I'm like, yeah, that's how we are working, because we want to test on the B2C. Because when you lose B2C customer, like if you lose one customer, okay, you understand this is very on a very low basis. The money that comes in from a single retail customer is different. But when you lose B2B customers, it's totally different because
It's big,
so
of course.
that's why we want to test the market and build the trust from B2C, from people. Then when people will come, it definitely comes with the B2B scalability.
Understand. Okay, yeah, no, makes a lot of sense. What are your deliverability not focusing on right now? What you're not focusing on right now? Are there something specific that you're putting apart, you don't want to do?
My idea is like currently to not focus on raising funds from VCs actually.
Because you don't want to hear about it, you definitely need
Yeah.
to
So we
or maybe your brother do it.
Yeah, so our idea is like to do the crowdfunding, not including VCs right now as at the safe round, because when a VC comes in, they push you to raise more and create more valuation. Also, I understand them. That's is their business model. That's how it works. How they make money. But in terms of companies scalability or growth, which is take time, they are super fast in this process actually, to raise more money, spend on marketing, spend on the marketing visibility, and that's what they do company, how do you say, instead of fixing the application or the back end of the company, they they try to scale on a visibility side to, so they can make more money. Because what I see is like there are so many companies who are under pre-seed or seed, and they focus so much on raising money, and they raised from VCs. But when I use their application, it's like, man, it's totally I cannot describe, because I don't like to tell anyone's features bad or something, but that's what I don't see. It's like, oh, okay, this company raised $20 million, but their app look like I cannot use them. So I prefer to take time and go slow. But whenever our product, the customer use our product, So they have to be satisfied, because most people forget about customer. They more focus on the, the name and fame. Our main idea is to focus on customers' pain point. Actually, we don't want them to lose. Even when you lose one customer, you lose trust. So yeah, that's the idea, is to not focusing on raising more money and make it like, crazy valuation. And we prefer to serve first, then we go to the next part.
No, that's beautiful. I like your the idea, the concept. Definitely, you're building in a space where technology, regulation,
Correct.
and human behavior all
Mm.
collide,
Correct.
which makes the learning curve very intense. Based on what you have learned so far building urban,
Right.
what should other fintech funders in a similar position start doing or stop doing?
I think chasing the visibility right now and focus on more.
Yeah, exactly what you mentioned. Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
chasing the visibility and try to make it simple user interface, user experience. And I think that's what I learned from Indian market, because we have a 1.5 billion people and we have so many applications even to order a food. When we don't like the application, we switch to the next, or so.
Yeah,
Like I saw in Europe, like we have some limited Globo, or for example, and we have like Uber Eats. I'm just talking about in general application scenario. But when we don't like, we have numbers of application in India. You can use Zepto, you can use Zomato, and Blinkit. It's like they are delivering groceries in 10 minutes. You can imagine, and you order and they deliver in 10 minutes. Even a street vendor who is selling vegetables, they have a QR code, the payment applications. So it's like more focus on the user centric, instead of company perspective centric, or raising money on raising valuation. And I think more focus on the regulation first thing, compliance and regulation, then the customer service, especially how the app, the user base, sorry, the user UI UX is much, has to be easier to use, not very complicated, not very fussy. When you open the application and you see hundreds of rewards, no, that is not very friendly. You see, like the traditional banking apps you don't like to use, but if you use any different app, for example, Wise, you use Revolut, it's so easy to understand what is happening in the mobile application, because they actually spend money on user experience.
yep,
And
right.
yeah,
That's
bank
right.
don't care about it, because banks say, oh, we have the money, they can use whatever they can, whatever we build, they have to use it.
I know,
So
and it's so complicated. Yeah,
exactly.
I know, I know. And what habit made the biggest difference for you as a founder?
I think learning from mistakes. So because, for example,
If it's an habit, you do mistake.
exactly. So yeah, for the habit, I think for me it's like focus on one thing. Actually, especially when you are building something really big for people who really you care about and the audience, because obviously you are working to make money, but you also giving something better to the audience or to the people who are waiting for you. They don't know they are waiting for you, but you need to improve yourself every day to focus on one thing, not 10 areas. Like, some founders, what they do is they do the marketing, they do the tech part, then they do the fundraising, then also they are looking for financials. How can I create using AI or whatever? Because right now people think, okay, we have the AI, it can do anything. It can do like everything for you, but the thing is you are not the right person to see the outcome. So you must have people or team to look after other things. If your work is in tech, focus on the tech part, and rest you need to build team. Actually, alone you cannot go far.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I love it. Varinder, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
This was a great conversation, strong insight into your journey, your industry,
Right.
and the work you're doing at URBNED. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. It was lovely to meet you.
That's great. And where do people can reach you or your team and learn?
They can go directly to the website, and I can mention my LinkedIn also for your podcast. People can connect here because currently we are fundraising our first round as a safe, and you can also have like a Telegram. I can have a Telegram because most of the Web3 companies, they use Telegram a lot. So I can
Okay,
mention a Telegram. Yeah.
wonderful. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Variindar.
Thank you.
And that's it for today's episode of AI InterConnect. And if you enjoy it, share it with someone who is building the future, or better yet, someone who should be. And until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and keep building.
Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.